I got one more thing on last night, and that is the Sabres. The Sabres themselves being a cautionary tale for Jim Murray and his ilk who want to tank in any sport with any team.
Oh, I'm getting a tisk today.
You're
Wonderful.
getting a tisking. You're getting a tisking. I blame you for the Sabres. Because there are, I'm sure, many Buffalo fans up there.
Nice tisk, Mike.
Who 15 years ago, when the run of theirs started, said, it's better to lose and get a higher pick.
Show me your tisk.
And then they lost and got a higher pick and still sucked. And then got another high pick. And I'm sure there were fans at the end of that year saying, well, keep losing. Let's get a lottery pick. And then they kept losing, got a lottery pick. And then they got a lottery pick in the year that it was Eichel and Connor McDavid? It's like, well, keep losing and get that pick, and you get Jack Eichel.
They didn't lose enough.
And they keep losing. Well, I think they actually had the worst, if I'm not mistaken, they have the first or second that year. They might have had the first and lost it. I can't remember. But either way, keep losing and get that pick, and then they kept losing. And then they got the first overall pick. You ever hear of Owen Power? Murray, be honest with me.
No.
Okay.
No.
Is he a terrible defenseman?
First overall pick 3 years ago. But I'm sure at the end of that year, there were Sabres fans saying, well, we got to keep losing. We got to get that pick. And they got that pick, and they drafted something named Owen Power, who you've never heard of. He played last night. He's a big defenseman. Kid, I know if he was going to be good or not, but a big, supposed to be franchise defenseman, first overall pick. Do you know the Sabres have had 10 top 10 picks in the last 11 years, including number 1 overall just a couple of years ago. That's Owen Power. They've had number 8, number 7, number 1 again in 2018. Tell me you've heard of Rasmus Dahlin?
No. I have heard of him because, I've watched a few of these games.
Oh, Dahlin, yeah.
Rasmus Dahlin, he was the first overall. So they have 2, I think Jack even mentioned this. They have 2 number 1 overall picks that are on their back line. And they epically suck. Do you watch them trying to play defense?
I'm so glad you mentioned this because I was going to say they especially suck on defense. If Danton Heinen is in front of the net and you can't get his ass out of there, you blow.
They have no idea how to play. They've had, so again, number 8, number 7, number 1, number 8, number 8, number 2. That was Eichel. Number 2 the year before, Sam Reinhart. Number 8 the year before, Ristolainen. And they suck and they don't know how to play. And you know why? Because somewhere along the way there, they became losers. And it became okay to lose. And became part of the culture, and it became okay if you weren't good enough to just lose. And they lose and lose and lose and lose and lose and lose. And the next thing you know, it's baked in. You're losers. And that's a cautionary tale, Murray. Tisk, tisk. Why you should never tank. Because the slippery slope is the Buffalo Sabres. They haven't made the playoffs in 13 years. Longest run in the NHL.
It's hard to do in hockey.
13 straight years, despite drafting in the top 10 just about every one of those years.
And this was a year, they've had a handful of years, too, in the last 5 or 6 where they've been like this sneaky, buzzy team before the season starts. And this is one of those years, and they suck again. Because
everyone gets all horned up about, the prospects and the young players. And if you lose the culture of winning, if you lose that, sometimes it goes and it never comes back.
Well, the kid that got hurt last night, he seems like a legitimate stud. Thompson, right?
Yes.
So on paper, they can put, they put the puck in the net, but bad management, bad goaltending. It's been the same thing for a decade plus.
They'll do what they did with Reinhardt and trade him.
But that thing, that building last night, it's a joke.
All right, it's half empty.
It's a joke. It's completely ground to a halt.
That's the worst defensive team I've ever seen.
And all they do is draft defenseman, number 1 overall. And so I'm telling you, that's the cautionary tale. You become that.